Future TV. My name's Chris Kalabukas, and once again we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, not necessarily in that order. Now, a lot of people come to me and say, Chris, I really want to get into this startup game. I really want to do my own startup. Working at a dead-end corporate job, and well, at least he feels it's a dead-end corporate job, or he or she, whoever approaches me, says, I really want to do a startup. There's so much interesting stuff going up in the startup space nowadays, but I don't really know what to do. What can I do? I don't really have any ideas. I said, well, you came to the right place. You know what? I'm not going to give you an idea. You're going to come up with your own idea. Now, if you look at the sharing economy, there's a couple of interesting things that are going on in that space, which are basically a font of ideas. So if you look at things like Uber, if you look at things like Airbnb, if you look at things like Local Tool, there's all these different companies. They're all doing something very similar. And they have two specific aspects that they're putting into play. I mean, they have other aspects as well, but they're two specific aspects. And these two aspects can be used in order to decide what you're going to do for your startup. Even if you have no idea what you're going to do, these two aspects are key, if you ask me. Since the dawn of time, we've lived in tribes. Well, in the dawn of humanity, we've lived in tribes, right? We've lived in tribes because it's really difficult for one person on their own to survive. I mean, nowadays, it's much easier. I mean, you've probably seen those articles and videos about some guy sitting at home, getting everything ordered in and being able to survive and eat and exercise and everything without even having to leave his house. Nowadays, it is easier to do that. But the reality is that human beings have always been and will be social creatures, right? We like hanging out with each other. In fact, not only do we like hanging out with each other, we like helping each other. We enjoy helping each other. I think that's something that's innate in most humans, that we like helping each other. I mean, there's some people who are kind of grumpy and they don't really like other people. But I think underneath it all, we do enjoy helping other people. So that's aspect one. Can you come up with a startup where it's people helping people? I mean, that's how you can scale too. If you look at Uber and Airbnb, it's people helping people. Now, what's the other aspect that Uber and Airbnb and a lot of the sharing economy leverage? Well, it's stuff just lying around not doing anything. I mean, I was reading an article the other day saying that your car, that car that you spend, I don't know, $300 a month, $600 a month leasing, or $24,000, $25,000, $100,000 purchasing, is sitting in your driveway, airport parking lot, work parking lot, probably 90% of the time. You only use that car 10% of the time. So why buy a car? Or if you've got that car, why not leverage that car? So if you take these two aspects, stuff lying around, doing nothing, not being used, I mean, take those two aspects, people helping people, and stuff lying around, not being used by anyone, put those two together, and bam, there's your startup. In fact, if you're sitting in your living room right now, look around your room. There's probably 100 different startup ideas you can get just by looking at the stuff in your room that can help other people and to sit around doing nothing. I mean, think about it. There's so many things like that. Uber is that. It's cars sitting around doing nothing, people helping people. Lyft, cars sitting around doing nothing, people helping people. Airbnb, extra space in your house, sitting around doing nothing, people helping people. Those two aspects are the core of the sharing economy. I mean, sure, Uber has other things like a really great interface where it's seamless and you don't really have to do anything. You press a button, bam, people show up, bam. But I think the core of it is those two things. So look around your room, look around your office, look around your living room, just look around in the world and see, is there something that's not being used and can be used by other people? I mean, I was joking around the other day, like, look in your living room, there's probably a box of silverware sitting in a cupboard somewhere that you haven't ever used. It's still valuable, you don't want to get rid of it. But there's probably somebody out there who might want some silverware for a party. Why don't you set up a startup which shares silverware? I know it sounds like a dumb idea, but you get my drift. Put those two things together, people helping people and stuff sitting around doing nothing, and you might be writing the next unicorn. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.